Second checkpoint I want to draw your attention to is checkpoint 8.4, where we are increasing mastery-oriented feedback. In this particular article, we are looking at adding immediate feedback to explicit timing. So we are looking at intervening for students, and we're increasing the intensity of our intervention by providing immediate feedback. And so we are telling the students, are they correct, are they not correct, before problems arise. And if they're not correct, then they can go back and fix the procedural problems before students have this ingrained in their mind. So using technology, we can individualize that feedback. We can correctly allow students to work a problem, and we can know for sure once they hit the enter button if they are correct or if they are incorrect. And that allows the student to reflect on that feedback and then see if they need additional help. And if they do, then the teacher or the other help aides in the technology can provide that reteach for them to fix and correct their learning.
The first task that we need to work on is to build our data. We're going to use the STAR test for that, and this is a series of slides that shows step-by-step procedure on how to complete that work. Every teacher who participated in the PD will receive a physical copy as well as the electronic copy of the slides for their use.
Technology that we're going to piggyback that off. We're going to kind of like integrate the two together. The STAR testing will give us our data, and then we're going to use that data and have instructional activities for the kids in the Khan Academy. Okay? So we got our username and password from our designated personnel. Make sure when you go into STAR testing and the kids, make sure this number is correct, because my kiddos had a horrible time trying to figure out, I've got the right thing, but they had a different school. So either post it on your board or whatever, but that 9897.
These next series of slides, we're going to show them individually, because during the PD we stopped and helped individual teachers on actually accomplishing these procedures. So here we are showing how to add students to the classroom. We can go ahead and start building our passwords. And then students will have their usernames and passwords ready for them when they get to administering the test. Okay, let's go ahead and administer the test to the class. Notice that you do not have to be logged in for this, only the students. Again, make sure that you are looking at the 98971 number. That is a number for our school. Once the test is complete, then we can build our data. We can look at various data. The resources found in STAR uses charts and data in numerous ways. Two of my favorite is the diagnostic chart. I like to show this to students. This is their score as it currently is. And look and see the color chart. It is on the right. And the colors can help students pinpoint where they are and what they need to be learning. The growth chart shows them how they have progressed from the first of the year for the first test to the current test, and that will give them encouragement as well to see how far they have progressed throughout the stages of their projects. Now we're going to turn our attention to the resources that are found in STAR that we can change the instruction within the class. We can differentiate that instruction. We need to find the individualized learning plans. We need to build that for. Here are the steps to build the instructional plan through the STAR resources. So I chose, for their ILPs, I chose to put students in groups of 2 and 4. That way every student has a buddy, has a person they can relate to, and that is working on the same content, same skills that they are, so they can help each other, as well as the technology helps, as well as I can help them as well.
Lesson 20, it's flexible. You can do the grouping however you want to, but the closer the numbers are, the closer that mean is going to be, then the instructional resources that STAR will recommend are going to be more closely tailored to that particular individual. Does that make sense? Okay. So in this particular class, this is my regular pre-algebra level class. I had 8 different groups for them. Okay, and groups of 2 to 4.
Again, the professional development, the PD is looking at working with individual teachers at this point. So we go from slide to slide and we make sure that the teachers are building their instructional planning because they have already STAR tested once in this year. And here are the instructional planning. Here's what it looks like on this particular report. This is the report that I print out for each student. And that way they will use this as their individual learning plan. When they move to find resources in Khan Academy, these are the ones that they're going to be looking for. I am also going to keep a copy of this work so that if students should happen to lose this information from week to week, I can always go back to my copy and help them get started again. In a minute, we will see some sample learning plans that I have used in the classroom this year, just to give you evidence that this instructional strategy is working for our students at Todd County Middle School.
A copy too, so that when they lose it, I can always go back to my copy, right? Any questions on putting students into groups? Okay. All right, so then you'll see their plan. This is their instructional plan. Suggested skills are based on their score, their mean score in that group. So this one is 5th grade level work, and they need to work with numbers and operations. This is okay. So this class is from my RTI class, 5th period, and let's check out at the beginning of the year. Looks like I have 2 students that are almost on pace. These are 8th grade students, and their learning plan suggests 7th grade work. So I'm very hopeful that by the end of the year, I will have them at grade level pace. Let's take a look then. Here is their learning plan for September. Looks like they are now on grade level. So I'm going to take a gander, and hopefully they can, on the next STAR test, get themselves to proficient. So now we're moving over to October, November. And it looks like that these groups have gotten smaller. I have chosen their learning targets because in this particular group, they have reached grade level. For this individual, though, he still needs some work on his behavioral skills. So I'm going to go ahead and work a little bit more with these individuals in their learning targets. But this particular project is working well for these RTI students. They are showing growth from one STAR test to another, and that has both the students happy and excited, and it has, of course, I'm happy and excited for them.
Before we link our data to Khan Academy, I just want to mention also that STAR resources, they have instructional activities that are unplugged that you can click on a link, and here's all the instructions to how to find that information. You can click on some links and you can find a whole group activity. Let's say you had the entire class needing a specific skill for remediation. You can look at some unplugged activities for your classroom. Now we're going to go ahead and link our individual learning plans with our activities in Khan Academy. So this is going to build our procedure, our understanding for how to use technology to differentiate our learning.
Okay, so we have our STAR test data, and we are ready to put it to good use. Now, it's not just the teachers needing to know what those scores are. The students need to be able to know their scores and to be able to use them effectively. Where should they grow? Where should they learn? And so we're going to use these STAR results for building our instructional activities. We're going to plug this in with Khan Academy. And for our instructional strategy, we're going to flip the classroom for a day. And not just one day. It's not just a one and done. This is going to be a weekly activity that students can count on. They know they will always do this particular activity every week. We are going to look at 7 different steps to implementing this effectively in our classroom, because our classrooms are not set up as a typical rule. As a typical rule, we are not set up to flip the classroom. So we need to kind of bridge that learning and kind of scaffold that for students on how this should look. So first of all, go ahead and print your groups from the instructional STAR reports. This will be their individual learning plan. Students will log into Khan Academy. After you've made your classes, they will find their grade level. They will find the topic that they are to complete. And we're going to work on the task one day each week for 3 or 4 weeks. Hopefully, after some time spending each week on Khan Academy, students will take the initiative to work on Khan Academy outside the class. And even more than that, hopefully they will learn to take it with them in the next grade level, whether it be a transition to the middle school, transition to the high school, or just to the next grade level. Okay, your grade is given as a performance grade on the technology, okay, not on the math content. We are looking at the forest for the trees. The forest, the big picture, is learning technology. We are having the advantage of closing some content gaps in mathematics as well. So those are our big learning targets. The grade is a performance grade, not a math content grade. We give quite a few math content grades, and so it's refreshing for the students to see a performance grade and a chance for them to effectively learn how to use technology. But then the teachers get the added benefit of helping students with their math content as well. And then before the next project begins, the STAR is retested and students regrouped, and the process begins all over again. We have a few modifications for our engagement that has been effective. Some students may choose to practice on current grade level skills. Let's say they have an upcoming test and they are very stressed about it. Having an extra day of practice problems will help ease that tension. So I would be glad to allow those particular students to work on the grade level skills for a day, and then hopefully they will use that as a study tool at home for the for their test the next day. Also, some students may feel that they are more ready, or maybe even not as ready for that particular skill that is assigned to them. And so students can choose if they need a lower grade level or a higher grade level. They still need to work on that particular type of skill, whether it be numbers and operations or maybe geometry. They still need to work on those skills, but we can be a little bit flexible if needed to meet the engagement that students need, like if they need a lower grade level or a higher grade level to help them with their engagement. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be flipping the classroom. We're letting the students find the place where they need to learn, and we are giving them support once they find out what they need to learn.